got some in my purse right there.
Okay.
If you want. I got 3 different shades of lip gloss.
Okay. Her lip gloss is popping.
And that little animal print pouch right there. You can see it sticking up from here. It's the largest one. That's the candy, and the next one is it.
Why you got a bag of candy, Grandma?
Because when I travel, my throat gets dry.
Oh.
And so if I suck on candy, it kind of keeps me lubricated, keeps my throat lubricated where I don't.
Okay. Okay. I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Pink one I think is cotton candy.
I don't want to be sitting here licking my lips. Okay, I can see you on here. Hi guys. There's nobody on there yet.
Okay.
But I keep forgetting that, like on mine, I have like this thing on here. So let me go here. Just getting everything set up.
I love those pictures of you.
Oh, thanks. That was from a photo shoot I did in 2012.
Yeah. Wasn't that your first photo shoot?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe so.
This one is on your page. Where's Miranda? Because Miranda just asked me what we was doing it, and I ain't seen her.
Can't see any cleavage, can you?
No, we can't see it. We can't see the cleavage. Good. We're good. So that's on there. So today, guys, we want to share some pearls of wisdom that I've had my grandma my whole life, obviously. So, but but she is 73 years young, and she's been around for a long time, and she's going to share some stuff from some of her life experiences. I'm kind of making her do this because I want you guys to experience everything I get to experience. Hi, Jerry. Jerry's on there. She said, hi, family.
Good morning, Jerry.
So, Grandma is going to share some stuff that we have, like, great conversations. The best part of my, you know, I'm happy that she's here and she gets to spoil me and stuff. But my favorite thing about having my grandma around is that there's Miranda. She's blowing kisses.
Good morning, Miranda. Love you.
The best part of having my grandma is, you know, every morning we wake up and we lay in bed and we just talk. And so, you know, she's just going to talk to you guys, share whatever, you know, is on her heart. And I hope that it's a blessing to you guys. I know it'll be a blessing because it's always a blessing to me. So, Grandma, what you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about young people in relationships, not only with the Lord, but in personal relationships with your family and with a mate or your spouse or just friends in general.
Okay.
I think that's a good topic, especially at this time of the year.
I think it is too.
Because we have to think about what we are giving thanks for. It's Thanksgiving, so you should be thankful that God has blessed you to be in this world today, to open your eyes, to wake up. And when you meet someone, meet them with a smile. Greet them with a smile and say, hello, God bless you, or hope you're having a wonderful day, or whatever is put on your heart and mind to say to a person. I always think that you should try to encourage a person because you never know what they've been through the day before or an hour before you just met them. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that you should carry in your mind and in your heart.
Yeah. My dad called us this morning and he was talking about a conversation that he had. Thank you, Angela. She said, we're looking good, ladies.
Thank you, Angela.
But he was sharing a conversation that he had with a lady this morning. He didn't think that it was gonna go well, and it turned out that the lady was really nice to him, and he didn't expect it. So then he started crying, she started crying. It was a beautiful thing. But like Grandma said, you never know what somebody's going through, especially around this time of year. So many people, they're not with their family, and we met a guy yesterday at Sam's Club, and he doesn't have family out here, and so he was kind of discouraged about being around this time of year. But it's important that you reach out to people. Hey, Gina's on. Hi, Gina.
Good morning, Gina. And one thing he did tell us that he enjoyed meeting us yesterday, and for us taking the time to talk with him and share conversation with him. And he was asking us to please come back again.
Sam's Club is like an hour and a half away from my house, but he was like, you come back. My name is Eddie. He really wanted to talk. He was a nice guy. He helped us find a brisket.
Yes, he did. He bought out several briskets for us to choose which one we wanted.
So it's important. It's important to have that relationship with God. I know that my grandmother is a praying woman, and she has prayed for our family a lot. So
yes, I have.
Yeah.
I pray for our family. Not only our family, I pray for everyone in the world today. Each and every day, the Lord puts that on my mind to pray not only for my family and close friends and relatives, but for everyone, for the world, and for our leaders now today. God is in control, not the leaders. It's God that's at the steering wheel.
Yes. And we were talking about, racism and all the stuff that's going on in the world. And I always tell people assume because they look at the color of my skin that, I'm just black. But my grandma said we're Heinz 57. We're mixed with everything.
That's right.
So, we come from a line of whites, Indians, Mexicans, Asians, all kind of stuff.
Yes,
we just all mixed together. So my grandmother never, and my grandfather, before he passed, he never taught us to be segregated from people. And I think that's important to teach your kids nowadays with all the craziness that's going on in the world. You have to teach your kids that you should love everybody because God created all of us.
Yes, he did. He created us all equally. We are all God's children. God does not discriminate. So who are we to be discriminative in this day and age? Life is too short. Embrace today. Embrace your loved ones. Let them know that you love them. Greet them with a hug. Not only when I meet people, they go to shake my hand. I said, no, honey, I do not shake hands. I give you a hug because I think you should be greeted with love, whoever you are.
Yeah.
I think it makes a difference if you give a person a hug.
Yeah. And so, so she fit right in my church because everybody hugs. And that's how it always has been with our family. We meet new people and then they just become part of our family forever because everybody has always been welcome into my grandparents' house. When my grandfather passed away, I got messages from people I didn't even know, but somehow they found me on Facebook to tell me how much of an impact my grandfather made on their lives. And I was like, well, amen. Yeah, Gina said you do give good hugs.
Oh, thank you, Gina. Love you.
Yes. And so it's important. I always learn that you're supposed to love people and you're supposed to be kind to people. And I'm thankful for the family that I grew up in and to have the grandparents that I've had and stuff. My grandparents knew each other. I tell people this story everywhere I go. They knew each other since they were little kids. My grandma was only 8 years old.
That's right.
And my grandfather used to pull on her pigtails and stuff. And he said he was going to marry her. And,
yes, he did.
And they did.
And we did. And I always feel that at that young age, for us to actually have been apart for over 6 or 7 years and actually meet up again and wind up getting married, I feel that was in God's plan from the beginning. So I feel that the Lord put that marriage together. And I always believe, my mother taught me to believe that whatever the Lord joined together. I feel today that these young people that get married, they don't take the time to put in a relationship like it should be. If a person makes them angry, they give up. They're ready for divorce.
Yeah.
goodbye, I'm gone, it's over. That's wrong. Somebody has to be a bigger person and forgive and break the ice and sit down and try to talk it out and find out what's the reason you're angry with each other in the first place. So,
and she said she did not let her and Grandpa could not go to bed angry at each other. She was going to make him talk to her.
So yes, I had a very stubborn husband, believe it or not. He was very stubborn. And I said, my mother told me, never go to bed angry. So he had a habit of not wanting to talk. And I would do something or say something to make him have to talk to me. And then I said, see, you talk to me and you say you weren't going to talk to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I had days when I would get angry too. I'm human.
Yeah. But it takes, sticking with somebody through that long haul. I talk about her and my grandfather's marriage in my book in chapter 7 when I'm talking about the Proverbs 31 woman, and I talk about how you're supposed to be durable and last through these things. And they were married for 53
years.
Yeah.
And all of those 53 years were not wonderful. There are ups and downs, not only in marriage, but in relationships. But both of you have to learn to work through those things. If you really love the other person, if you love each other, you're going to find a way to work it out.
And it's good to be friends with each other. Don't just jump into a relationship because you just want to have sex with a person, because that's not going to last.
No, that is the wrong reason. That is definitely the wrong reason to get into a relationship or even to get married, because you think that the sex is great. It's more to life in a relationship than sex. There's communication.
Yeah.
And communication is really the key.
Yeah. And so I think it's important for us, especially as this younger generation, to spend time with the older generation. The Bible says that you're supposed to learn from those who are older than you, because they have experience, they've gone through things. And how are you going to be able to go through stuff successfully if you're not going to listen to anybody else? So, I'm thankful. I thank God for my grandmother every day. That I get to have her in my life, and also my boys get to have her in their lives. I know sometimes they're just happy that she comes. I'll tell you what happened, okay? So last year she came and she brought them a laptop, and they were so happy. So when she came this year, Stefan was like, okay, grandma's coming and everything. And Jeremiah had wrote, when we sent her Mother's Day gift, he had wrote in there that he wanted a Wii U. So that's what he thought grandma was going to bring him this year. And so Stefan we're at the airport, and he's trying to put her luggage in the bag, in the trunk. And the guy comes over, he's trying to help him lift it, and he was like, you're really excited, she's here, huh? And Stefan was like, yeah. He was like, I bet you she brought you some nice stuff. He said, yeah, she always brings me nice stuff. And so he puts the suitcase in the bag, in the trunk, and we get home and everything, and the next day we're getting ready for church, and grandma was like, oh, okay, I got to get the boys their gift. And so she's going to sign it, and she got them Bibles. And so Jeremiah comes in there, and he gets his, and he's like, oh, okay, thank you. And she's like, can I have a hug? And so he gave her a hug. Stefan walks in there, and she hands him the Bible, and he just looks at it.
He was so disappointed. He was very disappointed. That expression on his face.
Yes.
I wish I had the camera.
I had to make that child say thank you and give her a hug. He was like, she was like, oh, you don't like it? He said, well, it's not that. I mean, like he was not expecting to get a Bible this year. He was like, she gonna get us some kind of electronic gift.
Santa Claus might bring it to him. Well, which she's told him about Santa Claus, so
yeah,
he'll know it came from grandmother if he does get it at Christmas time.
Yeah. I'm not about to let her spend $400 on no video game system. It is not that serious. So,
but I'm just blessed. I thank the Lord for this Thanksgiving. It's going to be extra special in my heart, and it's going to be great memories for me for years to come, because I'm going to have more of my grandchildren here with me.
And great grandchildren.
And great grandchildren, yes. And I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to cook up a lot of food for them so they can have those memories.
Yes.
And say, grandmother cooked this or great grandmother made this for me.
Yes. And we're going to cook together so we can know how to cook all the stuff. And because it's important. I was talking to somebody, one of my customers the other day at work, and he was like, well, you know you don't have to cook all of that food. You can just go buy it from, Safeway. They make the whole meal. And I was like, nope, my grandma is coming to town. I want those memories of actually cooking the food with her versus letting somebody else cook it. That is important.
And when you cook it from scratch, I think people go buy this cornbread. No, make your cornbread from scratch for your dressing. Or, it's stuffing if you stuff the turkey.
Yes.
It's dressing if it's not in the turkey.
Right. I did not know that. But I learned something new. So we're going to have stuffing and dressing. Both of them.
Yes, we will. As we have always had every year. I did it.
Mm-hmm. And then she taught my dad something this morning too, because he was asking her about how to make the brisket right. And there is a certain way you are supposed to cut brisket. We all been doing it wrong. You got to learn how to cut the brisket the right way. You got to do it.
Because he said his came out chunky and chewy.
Mm-hmm. Because he just cut straight down like regular meat. You got to cut it with the grains.
Oh, that's my cousin, and she on Facebook.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you gotta cut the brisket like with the grains or whatever.
No, you have to cut it against the grain.
Okay, against the grain.
Definitely.
Whichever way that is. I'm not really sure.
Well, when you buy it, you have to look at it, and it'll. Once you look at it after it's cooked, you can tell which way to cut it because it should be against the grain.
Okay. So y'all should have saw it. Y'all saw I posted a picture of her yesterday when she was inspecting the brisket. It was like, you got to see that. You got to see it. She was like looking at it, flipping the briskets around and stuff. And the guy was like, well, that one don't have that much fat on. She was like, you don't see all this fat on this thing? And he's flipping it and stuff. He had to bring us out more brisket because she was like, no, okay, well, this one look a little better than this one. I was like, I got to remember how to do all of this stuff because I just go in there and be like, oh, this is a brisket, and I just buy it. I bought the one with all the fat on it, and then you got to sit there and cut all the fat off.
That's right. That's more work for you. The more fat, the more work.
Yes. So you don't want to do that.
You're supposed to enjoy cooking. I feel you cook with love, and that's why people enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So that's what I do. I cook with love.
Yes. And her and my grandfather always cooked together.
Yes.
So that was always a nice thing to watch them cook together.
We didn't always agree in the kitchen now.
This is true.
Because sometimes he'd say, get out of the way, Shirley. Go sit down.
My grandfather was he was
a chef.
Yeah, he was a chef. He liked stuff done a certain way. So
that's right.
I think that's important too because, Stefan wants to be a chef when he grows up, and he really wanted to be able to cook with grandpa, but he never got that opportunity to do that. But now he's going to be able to cook with grandma, and so so I think it's important to teach your kids those things. And I believe the reason he really wants to be a chef is because grandpa was a chef. He also wants to go to the Navy now because he saw grandpa in his Navy suit. So he made a big impact on his life, far more than I think he even knew, and he hadn't even spent that much time around grandpa,
right?
Because we lived in a whole different state. But I remember we were at the funeral. It was after the service, and Stefan was sitting on a rock, and
at the repast.
Yeah, at the burial site.
Yeah,
at the burial site, and Stefan was tying his shoe, and he was getting frustrated, and then he was just like, I was like, well, what's wrong? He was like, he didn't ever get to show grandpa that he finally learned how to tie his shoe. And that just broke me all down because it's important for your kids to have those people in their lives, and to
because so many people lose a spouse, like I lost my husband, and they kind of drift away and go into a shell. But I thank God for my family. That I had them to comfort me and to understand how I felt after losing my husband. But some people don't have anyone to comfort them. So if you know anyone that's an older person and they have no relatives, or you think they're going to be alone, share some joy and love with them this Thanksgiving. It would be very important to them. And God sees everything. He sits high, but he looks low. And he loves each and every one of us. So show love this year.
Like that little girl we watching the video today.
Mm-hmm.
They gave that elderly man a hug after his wife had died, and it just lifted his spirits. Everybody needs a person like that in their lives.
Definitely. We all do.
Yeah.
And that's what they said, and the little children shall lead them.
So we prayed a lot. I'm so thankful that my grandmother made it through after my grandfather passed, because it's hard being with somebody you've known this person your entire life and then they're just gone. And so I'm thankful that you
didn't expect it.
Yeah. My grandfather passed. It was very unexpected. None of us expected that to happen. So, because he was a very stubborn man, as we said, and he had fought through cancer.
Yes, he did.
All kinds of strokes,
yes.
Diabetes and stuff.
Yes.
He was like the Iron Man. So we didn't expect him to ever pass away, ever.
Because we have been through so many illnesses with my husband, and God brought him back every time. He brought him back full force, and ready. He would be up and ready and ran to go. He would not sit down and he would not give up. So losing him was very unexpected to me and to the family.
Yeah.
But I think he knew. I believe within my heart now that he knew it was his time. And I think he was happy because he had kind of a half smile. That's the last thing I remember seeing on his face.
Yeah, he was that. He was always just like, the thing I love about my grandfather. He did exactly what he said he was gonna do.
Yes, he did.
So he said he was not going to have no surgeries no more. He wanted to go home.
He was never going back in that hospital again.
And he did that. And he went home. He went to sleep, whatever, and he was gone.
He went home. I picked him up from the hospital, and he went home, and he actually was home at least maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and that was the end of his life.
He had told us we were going to we had planned a trip for Christmas to the snow for the kids that Christmas, and he had passed away in October, but he had told us, he had been telling us for 2 years he was not going on that trip.
He sure did.
He was like, I don't like snow. I grew up in snow. I came from Buffalo. I'm not going to the snow with y'all. And we were like, yes, you are, Grandpa. You gonna go with us. No.
And he said, no, I'm not going with you.
He'd have made up his mind. He's not going. And he didn't go. We talked about that on Christmas. We were sitting there like, he sure said he was not coming to this trip.
He sure did.
He's so stubborn.
And he made sure he was not there either. Everyone was there except him.
Yep. So, but we've had a lot of good memories with him. And we still continue to make memories with Grandma. We're planning her 75th birthday party. So
yes.
That will be here in 2018. So she's staying around. She said, she promised me she's going to be around till she's 100. So.
If it's God's will.
Yeah. Well, I'm putting a petition in with God. That is his will that she stay around till she 100. Because she got a lot more life left in her. So.
Well, I know the Lord has a blessing on my mother-in-law's life.
Yeah.
She lives in Buffalo, New York. I don't think I don't know. She doesn't have a cell phone. And she is 99 years young.
Yeah. Jerry said she'll be at your 75th party. Hey.
And I'll be looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah,
God will, if it's God's will.
We're going to a cruise or Bahamas or something. Cancun,
right.
Something. Hawaii. We don't know yet. It's in the works. But we're going somewhere. It's going to be spectacular.
Yes. I gave Chantel information yesterday and introduced her to a dear friend of mine, Sandy Bernstein, and they're going to get together and start planning for that birthday party.
Yes. So we need all the family there. So don't try to tell us y'all can't afford to come, because we telling you 2 years in advance to save your money.
And I did ask Sandy to make sure that it could be payment arrangements where you wouldn't have to come up with all the money at one time for it, that you could make payments toward that trip.
Yes, so she looking out for everybody to make sure y'all ain't got to pay all this money all at once.
So therefore, I want no excuses.
That's for all her kids and grandkids and everybody.
Extended family included.
Yes, everybody gonna be at the 75th party in the Bahamas somewhere.
We don't know where.
We don't know where it's gonna be at, but it's gonna be awesome.
And I told her to try to make it where nobody had to do a lot of work or anything. Just make it where it's an enjoyable occasion in time.
Yes. So, yes, Angela, you gonna come too. She says she's extended. She's extended family. You and Matthew and the boys. We might need Matthew to come because we might need security.
That's right. That's right.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have enjoyed talking to you guys today. Make sure you share this because people need to. Is that my niece? Oh, JoJo.
That's
She's
Joelle.
So cute.
That was just Joelle. Beautiful.
My little black and Asian, my Blackanese baby.
Yes.
I can't. Yes, Miranda, you come too.
That's right. You sure can. And bring your mother too and father too.
Yep. So the whole Kid Bishop family, all y'all invited. And the Dormans, everybody's invited. It's gonna be an awesome party. So, but yeah, we look forward to spending time with Grandma over this week. She'll be here until next week with us. I ain't going to work the whole time. So I can spend all my time with her. And I'll share her with all my friends who are out here too. So
we're going to leave you with this thought. Give someone an encouraging word during this season, this holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
And love on someone.
Yes.
Okay? And God bless each and every one of you. And I know there will be a miraculous, enjoyable holiday for all of you. God bless you.
God bless you. We love you. Bye.
Bye.